Pope Pius XII did entrust the world to the Immaculate Heart of Mary on October 31st, 1942. And from that point forward, Hitler's armies began experiencing a series of crushing defeats on all war fronts. Every significant victory over the German army took place on a liturgical feast of Our Lady. The victory at Stalingrad occurred on February 2nd, 1943, the Feast of the Presentation. Italy turned to the Allied side on September 8th, 1943, the Feast of Mary's Birth. Sicily was taken August 15th, 1943, the Feast of the Assumption. The Allies landed at Toulon August 15th, 1944, the Feast of the Assumption. Japan attacked Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941. But did you know that Japan is on the other side of the international dateline? It wasn't December 7th in Japan, it was December 8th, the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. Shouldn't that get our attention? And to tie an end to it, Japan initially surrendered on August 15th, 1945, the Marian Feast of the Assumption. She was involved throughout that war when we just asked. Our Lady and John Paul II. John Paul II did miraculously survive the assassination attempt. The bullet defied laws of nature, according to medical and ballistic experts. It entered John Paul II's chest, and it turned to avoid his heart and all vital organs. John Paul II recognized the date being the Feast of Our Lady of Fatima, and he attributed being saved to his Heavenly Mother. He wrote in 1994, "It was a mother's hand, Our Lady's, that guided the bullet's path, and in his throes the Pope halted at the threshold of death." The prophecy of the Pope being killed did not happen. There was enough prayer and reparation. Following the assassination attempt, John Paul II actually, when he was in the hospital, asked for the messages of Fatima, and he asked for the Divine Mercy message, and he studied those from his hospital bed. Following his assassination attempt, John Paul II riveted world attention on the Fatima message. And if you look at his encyclicals and his apostolic exhortations, the 4-point themes of the message of Fatima are included in almost every one. In 1984, John Paul II said, Now is the hour when every person must make an effort to live faithfully this act of consecration to Mary." In 1984, he made an act of entrustment of mankind and all peoples to Mary Most Holy before the statue of Our Lady of Fatima in St. Peter's Square in spiritual union with the bishops of the world. What were the results? We saw them in 1989 through 1991. The Berlin Wall fell. The Iron Curtain collapsed. And on December 25th, Christmas, 1991, the Christian Russian flag was raised above the Kremlin, and there was not a shot fired. In 1994, John Paul II renewed the warning. He said on the last page of his book, Crossing the Threshold of Hope, he said the 21st century will be a century of religion, or it will not be at all. In the year 2000, again he made an act of entrustment to Mary. And he said, "Today as never before, humanity stands at a crossroads. We can turn this world into a garden or reduce it to a pile of rubble." 11 months after the year 2000 entrustment and prophetic warning, what happened? It was the tragic events of September 11th, when the United States of America was rocked by terrorist attacks. The pile of rubble created by those events is nothing compared to the catastrophe that may be awaiting us. Why did John Paul II continue to rivet world attention on these Fatima messages? Remember the fifth prophecy, unfulfilled, of the annihilation of nations.